Hey students, sorry I won't be in on Monday to take the lesson for the maths PSMT. I was going to be there and walk you through how to do basically a spreadsheet on Excel, Microsoft Excel. But obviously I'm sick, so I came down pretty quickly on Sunday. So I'm just making a video for you. There is actually another video that you can watch, and I will link it to you in the email. But I think for now, I'll just sort of see if I can walk you through the budget making process in Excel. So you'll be looking at something like this. And obviously we got a few things here. So I'm just going to run you through some terminology so that when I am pointing at stuff, then you understand what I'm talking about, which one I'm referring to. So in Excel, we have these called columns. So this will be column F, this will be column G. And we call these rows, and you can select them if you're careful with your cursor. Okay, so this is the second row, this is the first row, and so on. Pretty basic, but what about these individual boxes? We actually call them cells. Okay, kind of like blood cell, skin cell. These are little cells as well. And in them I can put in some text, and I can put in a number. One thing I would recommend to you just off the bat is do not mix up a number with text. Because if you do that, this software program is stupid. It doesn't understand that you meant this cell its value is 92. It thinks that you've just written a word, kind of like an address of somebody's house. So don't mix text inside of your cell with numbers, because you'll break the software and you'll be wondering why nothing works. Now you can see these are pretty tiny. I'm going to go up to the View tab up here and change the zoom level to 200% so you can follow along perhaps a little bit easier online when you're following along with the tutorial. And I'm also going to come back to the Home tab here, the Starting tab here. So when you build up your spreadsheet, I don't know, something that you can make up your own sort of headings up here. These ones work for me. I like to put the item first. So if I've got like, you know, cat, fish, chainsaw, you know, all the vital things that you might need in a bedroom design. And then the column C, sorry, I seem to have moved this in the wrong place. Let me just cut that and paste that over there. So in column B, I'm going to type in the number of them, or you might say quantity. And then I'm going to put the price in this column. And if you're wondering how I'm going from left to right I'm actually hitting the tab key on my Mac, and if I hit the enter key, I go downwards. So if I typed in, let me do these once more. So I type in item, tab, number, tab, price, tab, and I'm going to have cost. Now this one here, I'm sure there's a proper word for it, but I'm just going to say this will be the answer. If you have 3 cats and they each cost you $25, how much is it? So I'm just going to call this column cost. I'm sure there's a better word for it financially, but I don't know. I like to make them pretty, so I'm going to highlight them all. So the way I'm highlighting them is I'm selecting the cell. If you're still editing it, you have to hit enter or escape. If you accidentally make a mistake, so let's say you sort of click away and then you come back and you accidentally made a mistake here, and you didn't want that to save, you just hit the escape tool. Okay, so you hit escape and then it'll let you come back out. But I'm going to click and hold down my mouse and then let go to select these ones here, and then I'm going to hit the bold. I might even put some borders around it, so maybe a thick border as well, and maybe I'll color them blue and give them red text. Maybe not red, so I hit Command Z on my Mac. All right, and now I can just add a few more things. Let me add, let's say the price. How much would a cat be? I don't know, $25. A fish, probably not as much, maybe $6.79. And a chainsaw, I think maybe they are something in the order of like $86.99. Okay, and maybe I need in my bedroom, maybe I need to have 5 cats, and I need to have 2 fish, and maybe I need 1 chainsaw. Now, Oh, and I want to calculate a total, so maybe I'll just put the word total here, and then I'll do the same formatting as above, so I'll just do that. Oh, maybe you want them to sort of be center adjusted, so here I can click over here and make them line up to the center of the column, and maybe if I want to make these rows here really fat, so I'm just going to move my cursor. See how my cursor changes as I get to the border between these two rows? It has this little icon here. I can rearrange that, but now they're sitting on the bottom and I don't like that. I like to have them really nice in the middle. So now I can click on this icon here. So now they sit in the middle. Maybe I'll make this one fat too, and I'll do the same formatting there. I'll make this one blue. Awesome. And maybe bold as well. So in Excel, it's actually a calculator. It's basically a fancy software calculator, and the really good advantage of this software is that you can give it some instructions. So for example, take that number, add it to this number, and then double the whole thing. And then, you know what, just repeat that for everything on my list, and it'll just calculate them all instantly for you. So that's what people use Excel for, you know, in their day jobs, is they may have like a lot of expenses they've had in their business. Let's say coffee and milk, and yeah, for example, a coffee shop, you know, biscuits and how much, you know, their staff have been working that week, and you can start to tally up everything really easily. So here I'm only just doing 3 items, but you obviously would have more in your bedroom design. So for cost, I'm actually going to get it to calculate this for me. I know that you could do it yourself by hand with a little calculator in your hand, but that kind of defeats the purpose. This software has so many benefits. It's a really good idea if you can learn how to use it when you're young. So here's how it works. Oh, I want to change these into the format of dollars. So I'm just going to click, pull down, and let go to highlight all of those cells, because I want the cost to be in dollars as well. And I'm just going to move my mouse over to here and click on dollars. And there I go. It's formatted everything into currency. So for cost, I want it to be, I basically want to have these two numbers multiplied together to give me this answer. And you can give any of these cells instructions by just tapping on it and then typing in the symbol equals on your keyboard. Now, as soon as I've typed in equals, you can see that my cursor has started to look like it's about to select something. That's because I can actually type in like 2 plus 3 and hit enter, and it'll calculate the answer. So 2 plus 3 is 5, therefore gives me the answer. I can backspace that to wipe it out and try again. I can do 2 times 3. Okay, so the symbol for multiplication is actually an asterisk. So if I hit enter now, it's going to be 6, because 2 times 3 is 6. I can backspace to erase it once more. And division, I can do, you know, equals 34 divided by 5, for example. So the division symbol in Excel is actually the slash, the one that's / I think you would call it. And I can hit enter, and it'll calculate the answer for me. Now, in addition to doing that, backspace to reset it once more, is that I can say this cell is equal to that one times that one. Okay, you can see that it's using B2 because that's referencing column B, row 2, and it's multiplied against C2, which is column C and row 2. If I hit enter now, it's actually multiplied these two values together to create this answer. Now, my favorite bit is basically saying, all right, that's the instructions, Excel. I want you to repeat that for everything in my list. So there's actually a little green handle right here in the corner. I can click and drag it down, and it copies that instruction all the way down. Or I just hit the undo key there. Or my favorite one to do is actually to double tap. Ooh, didn't like that. So perhaps if I didn't have this in here, it would have done it perfectly, but usually it would just keep repeating it all the way down for all the sort of cells, for all the rows that you have used. So I just pulled down it manually in this occasion. All right, and you'll notice that the answer isn't 125 all the way down. It's actually multiplying if I edit this one, you can see it's those two being multiplied. And you can see if I edit this one, it's these two multiplied. So it's always referencing the cells nearby. And it can repeat this all the way down. It can calculate things really quickly. Another great thing is that Excel can actually make changes on the fly. So for example, you know what? 2 fish is just not enough for me. So maybe I need to have 3. So I'll actually change this by typing in a 3. And then if I hit enter, watch over here. Enter. It's updated the answer. It's come up a little bit. Or maybe 5 cats is too much. Maybe I just need, you know what? I could probably just go with 2 cats. I'll put 2 cats. Hit enter, and you notice that the cost has also come down. Last instruction that you might use on your budget is a total. So basically adding all these things together. So for this one, I'm going to edit. So I'm going to say this cell is equal to, and this time I'm actually going to pull out a function or basically a fancier set of instructions. Okay. So for example, you might do average. So if I start typing the word average, you'll notice that it starts predicting what kind of instruction you want. So I could click on average, and then you can calculate the average of some numbers. But this time I'm actually going to use sum. Sum meaning add them all together. If I click here, it's now listening for what do you want to do a sum of. And you can see my cursor is ready to select things again. So I'm going to click, hold down, then I'll let go. So it selected everything from D, so column D, everything from column D, row 2, all the way through to row number 4, which means these ones here. Now I have to close my bracket for the instruction to work. See how it says sum, open bracket, and then some stuff I've selected, and then close bracket. Now I can hit enter, and here it's calculated the total. I'm just going to fix it so it's now in the center. So again, everything here is based on instructions. So if I just change some of these numbers here, so let's say I go and I find out that the fish that they wanted wasn't available, and the only ones they have is expensive fish, and they each are like $14.79. So see how this number changed, and therefore this number changed. So we can update on the fly. Now, one more thing that you might perhaps want to know about Excel. So let's say you've made your list. Let's see, I've got 3 things. Maybe I need more. Okay, so what can I do about that? How do I make more room? Well, you can actually select one of these cells, right click, and click on insert. And here I can add a new thing here. So I don't know, bulletproof windows. And let's say I need 2 of those windows, and those windows cost, I don't know, $72. Okay, notice how it hasn't brought in my calculation here, so I need to grab the instruction and then pull it down. So there we go, so 2 times 72 gives me $144, and notice that my total here has updated again. Now, see how I wrote down bulletproof see it's up here, bulletproof windows, it doesn't quite fit. Now, to fix that, you actually got to mouse between the columns here. See how my cursor changes to this? If I click, hold, and I drag it out, I can resize the window as wide as I need it. Another option you might use, so let me just come back to here, is that you can actually double tap, and it'll size the column for you to as wide as your longest word or set of text in this column here. Or if your words are very short, it'll just shorten it for you. So you can make your spreadsheet a little bit more compact. What else would you probably want to know? Let's see. I suppose if you have your budget, and your budget is $5,000 per the task sheet, then you might want to say under over budget? No, what do you call it? Difference? Maybe difference would be a good word. So here, okay, say this cell is equal to that number, the budget, and subtract how much you've spent. And that will give you a live update on how much money you have left of your budget. So if I say, you know what, I need to have 44 fish. Okay, so I have less money now to spend. I may even call it how much left. And then I can double tap here, And I can resize there, and I can color it nice and pretty. There we go. And these are some things you might want to use in your Excel spreadsheet. I hope this gets you guys started. Try and make this for now, and then I would ask you to move on to now's a good time to start shopping for your bedroom design. Something I would like to let you know right now is don't try to fix everything to fit your budget just yet, okay? So don't worry about your budget just yet. Just fill it in with what you're looking for and because I want you to fully explore your initial idea, okay? Notice how in this video tutorial I was changing my mind about how many fish there were and changing my mind how many cats I had. Don't do that. I mean, I can't stop you, but I would suggest against that, because I would rather you explore things according to your earliest idea and see where you get, and then at the very end you make the changes. Okay, so I want to see you get all the way to the end of your budget and your item selection, and sure enough you might be over budget, or maybe you're like really under budget. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that I want to see your thinking all the way through to the end, where along your earliest design. And then I want you to be able to write that down and say, I wanted to have all these items. However, I realized we were like, $500 over budget. Therefore, I made these changes. Okay, so you won't have that. You won't be able to say that in your report if you constantly fiddled with it the whole time, and you never actually, you won't remember how many cats you originally wanted or how many fish you actually wanted, because you changed it immediately, and so a week from now you would have forgotten. I basically want to see that story in your report of what your earliest idea was and what changes you made and why you made that change. Okay, why you've made changes, that's called justifying. That's a really key part of this assignment. I hope this helps everybody. I will upload this now, and I hope you guys will have success in Excel. Bye.